the ongoing stream of this music and part of the history of the tenor saxophone. And he realized the depth of Dexter's lyricism, but he had to experience it more in person to really realize what deep warmth, you know, Dexter had in his music. Dexter also told his own story in his own way. So Stan started to realize, you know, like Dexter influenced John Coltrane, and then John Coltrane turned around and influenced Dexter as he was an older musician. So there's a continuum going on where Lester Young influenced Stan, and others did too, but he took all those influences and made them his own. He told his own story in his own way. And that's you know, I think that's as innovative as any artist can be. Getting your own sound and your own voice is what this music is. Everything else is just a bunch of verbiage and rhetoric. I mean, basically, that's the essence of what our music is all about.
Just a couple of things. That was well put. Can you talk about a time when you saw Stan enter the alpha state on the bandstand?
Alpha state?
The relaxed concentration that allowed him to channel those stories that came out of him.
Well, I felt that was the case almost all the time. You know,
talk about that to the people. Like, what was that experience like as somebody who had big ears and wanted to just get off on the music? Well,
I mean, you always felt like, you know, Art Blakey had an expression that I still hold near and dear to my heart every day. I hear Art Blakey saying, and it's very, very relevant to what we're discussing here. That music comes from the creator to the musician to the audience with split second. Because he said with split second timing. You know, it comes from some place and through the artist to the audience, and we share a shared cycle of creativity, a shared cycle of creativity. And with Stan, I almost always felt like the music was flowing through him, and as a listener, as whether you know an eighth note from a half note from a quarter note, or anything technical about the music, that's irrelevant. It's listening to the music and what it makes you feel, and then your feelings, you know, are picked up by the creative artist. In the most optimal artistic situation, the audience and the artist are feeding each other in a shared cycle of creativity. So, I mean, with Stan, I always felt like, almost always, sometimes I felt he was on autopilot, you know, but most of the time, I would say the preponderant amount of time, I always felt that, you know, it was a transport. I was getting transported. He was getting transported by the creativity something flowing through him, and it flows from the other musicians that he's with on the bandstand, and that had a tremendous impact on what Stan played too. That's why he loved playing with Billy Hart, why he loved playing with Roy Haynes, why he loved playing with certain he loved playing with
Chick Corea
and
Gary Burton.
Yeah, there were people that really made him feel even more creativity, because he was here. One of the great assets that he had is really a differentiating aspect of almost all the great musicians I've ever known or worked with, are their ability, just as much as ability to play, as the ability to listen. And all the experiences I've had, wonderful experiences I've had personally with musicians, almost every one of them involved us listening to music together, because listening is so vital, so essential, an element to their being able to play this music with the brilliance and the power that they had. Their ability to really listen, to where the music, where their ego for those moments gets sublimated into the expression of this music. And that's why thinking about what makes great artistry, what it is and what defines it and what's the essence of it. There's such a, and with Stan it was expressed in very vivid terms. There's a thin line between artistic and autistic,